In episode 1, I started the Nakasendo hike from Nihonbashi Bridge in Tokyo, crossed the Akakura River into Saitama Prefecture, and was welcomed to Gunma Prefecture by a beautiful sunset. It was in Gunma that I had my first night outdoors, thanks to a lady that showed me where to camp. The flat terrain quickly turned to mountains, and I had my first test crossing the Usui Pass. This was an appropriate welcome to Nagano Prefecture. On this episode, we'll be crossing the longest and most mountainous prefecture of the entire Nakasendo Trail. Let's go pray that we had a safe journey over the mountain. As you walk into Karuizawa, looks you're just walking on an old road like this. Since slept in a tent, haven't had a bath in 2 days. Actually booked a hotel in Karuizawa, so it feels good having the shoes off. I think I must have had a leech on me. My sock is soaked in blood, and a little bit on my pants here too, and on this side too. Looks just like where they would probably bite. Got some hiyashichuka for dinner. Look at this, 2 full beds to myself. I'm staying here for like 2 hours tonight. Had a nice sleep last night, got all my clothes washed, nice long bath. Feeling not 100%, but maybe 90, 95%. So let's have a good breakfast and do another 20 or so today. We're gonna head from Karuizawa to Saku City today. Not bad for 800 yen breakfast. So the Nakasendo kind of meanders its way through some of these towns. So I think without the app, the Nakasendo app, it'd be hard to navigate, make sure you're on the right path. This part of it's just going through a neighborhood here in Karuizawa, but it'll meet up with the with Route 18, the main road, in probably just a few more minutes. That's actually a Samayama volcano right in front of us. It's just covered with clouds today. It was supposed to be a rainy day today, but it turned out to be really nice. Rained a little bit last night, but super sunny, blue skies today. This is the post town of Magome-juku, which was the intersection of 2 major roads during the Edo period. The Nakasendo Trail that we're hiking now, and the Hokoku Kaido. One of the attractions is the tea house that's been preserved to its original state. The towns along the Nakasendo that have more historical significance and have the tourism to support it are able to put more money into the town. You can see this is Magome-juku, one of the post towns. The roads are really nice. The houses are nicer. There's just a lot of greenery, more plants. You can tell they put a lot more money and time into upkeeping the place. Museum, places like this that you can go visit. Even a few like B&Bs that you can stay in these kind of towns. They have galleries and cafes through these kind of towns too, so it's nice just to take a walk and enjoy it. Here's a temple called Sentoji. It's right at the base of Asamayama, so there's the kanji Asamayama. Looking at the map, looks like it's pretty much downhill from here in Karuizawa down to Saku, so probably about 2 to 3 hour walk, and the roads look like this. Yeah, so ran into some fellow hikers going the other direction.
Yeah, you're the fourth one we met.
Fourth one?
Yeah, going our opposite direction. I think we didn't meet anyone going Kyoto, Tokyo. Because then...
After a half hour of chatting and exchanging information with this like-minded couple from Italy, I made my way downhill into the city of Saku. We made it to Saku. There's a Samayama over there, the volcano. It's a pretty decent sized city. I've come through here quite a few times driving, but never walking. But we're gonna be heading in that direction over those mountains the next few days. Being a stop on the bullet train route, Saku City is considered a bed town, with many residents who commute to Tokyo for work and travelers heading to Nagano. Last night I stayed here in Saku City, caught up with an old friend known for almost 30 years. And we had a nice dinner, drank some sake, and just had a fun time catching up. So thanks a lot, Takashi. Had a good time. But just stopped by the drugstore to pick up some band-aids. Got 3 different sizes of these. I got one little spot between my toes rubbing. So in Japanese, band-aid is bansoko. So if you need to buy some, stop at one of these drugstores. And sunscreen is hiyake dome. So make sure you stock up, because once you get away from these towns, it's hard to buy some of these things. You can see the smoke coming up out of Samayama volcano. Nice clear day today. Look at that. Make sure you follow these little signs too. So go there. This bridge crosses the Chikuma River, connecting the post towns of Shionara and Yawata. Just had some lunch at Drive-In Tsukuma. Good, cheap place, and don't know how many more places there are or where the next stop is if you're heading towards Kyoto. If you're heading towards Tokyo, you're about to be to Saku City, so there's plenty of places. We're here in Tatashina. There's actually 2 Tatashina towns side by side, but they use different kanji for the names. But this is Kasatori Toge Pine Forest. It's Kasatori Pass. So let's go check out the pine trees. Yeah, some toilets in a rest area. For the toilets, it says Tono, which is feudal lord, and Hime, princess. So lords and princesses. The sign says National Highway 142, Tatashina Town, Kasatori Pass. There's a sidewalk, but it's beside a highway, so it's not dangerous, but I don't think I'd want to be walking through here at nighttime. We have about 12 more kilometers to go to our current campground for tonight, Akakura no Mori Campground. I can see the sign just ahead for the tea house. We're in Nagawa town. The owner of Toge no Chai was super friendly and kept me company as I had a second lunch. The road curves its way down the mountain, but Nakasendo actually cuts off to the side here. Most of the afternoon was downhill through peaceful forests. I passed a couple of villages, a few random houses, before stumbling upon this shrine in the woods. It's 38k to the town that I first moved to when I first moved to Japan 23 years ago, Chino City. We're here, auto camp, Akakura no Mori. Here's the check-in. They have a small shop here to buy things if you forget. Get some snacks, camp gear. Here they have cottages for rent. The cottages have a toilet there. They even have sinks and a washer and dryer here you can use if you need to wash a few clothes. So it's May 21st today, and we're here in Nagano, but it's still a little bit chilly. It's gonna get cold tonight, so I'm glad I brought my hat so my bald head doesn't get cold. Be able to sleep nice here. Look at the nice river behind us, a little creek. And I just had a shower. So you just put your money in right there, 200 yen for 5 minutes. It's about $1.50. Get a nice hot shower. I'm the only one here tonight, so I have the whole place to myself. It's an auto camp, so you usually park and then set your tent up next to it. But I don't have a car, so he gave me a discount. It's usually 4,000 yen, but he let me do it for 1,500 yen, 1,500 yen, like $10. The toilets are like a log cabin, super clean. It smells like cedar inside too. Look at that. It's getting a little bit cold. Let's get in the sleeping bag, get some rest, and get ready for tomorrow. Okay, good night. Today is day 8, and we're going to be going over the Wada Pass, or the Wada Toge, and just over those mountains right over there. And for the most part, Nakasendo follows Route 142, but we'll go off into the woods in a few spots. We're going to go up to an altitude of about 1,400 meters. So it's sort of a slide uphill and then downhill into Suwa. It was a scenic walk through a rural village before connecting back up with Route 142. This short section would be the last few shops and vending machines for nearly 30 kilometers, so make sure you have water. It's a little dangerous on Road 142. There's no sidewalk where they're doing construction, so this guy is going to take me just a couple of kilometers down the road. There's another hiker here, and this guy.
最終的には京都ですか。ちょっと日がないので京都までは降りてせめて半分。
So they cut about 1k off of our 500 and something kilometers walk. ありがとうございます。どうも助かりました。The truck dropped us off about 1k up the road just because it's too dangerous to walk without a sidewalk on this busy road. As I followed the Nakasendo Trail into the woods, I came across a guy that was biking it for the day. Today is a bit of a uphill trek, but it's a nice temperature. We're at 1100 meters up, and we're gonna take that side road right over there. There's an emergency shelter if you get stuck along the trail and need to sleep in there or the weather's bad. It's a nice little place. I think we're at the top of the pass. I don't see any more uphill. I was hoping to have some lunch about now, but guess we're not gonna eat here. I got a few snacks in the bag though, so let's keep trudging along. Looks like we're gonna have to walk under this road. Probably if it's heavy rain, it's gonna be hard to go through here. Oh, we made it to the top. Okay. Oh, we did it. Ah, my eyes are burning from the sweat. Oh, we made it. If you can see right through the valley there, that's Suwa. That's where we're heading to. Probably got about 10 or 12 kilometers, but it's downhill from here. So it's pretty quick since it's downhill from here on out. Just heading this kind of trail just down through the woods. Even on these less popular parts of the Nakasendo Trail, there are still signs in the woods to guide you. The woods here remind me a lot of the woods in Alabama and Georgia that I grew up playing in and living around. So I guess that's why I like Nagano so much, and the fact that it's the first place I ever lived in Japan. But so just a lot of good memories here in Nagano. Could be because there are a lot of pine trees that I've been seeing today. Although in Japan you usually see a lot more cedar than pine trees, but in the south in the US you see a lot more pine trees. So maybe just since I'm seeing a lot of pine trees here in Nagano, that's what reminds me of the south. This road, Route 142, is probably the worst I've seen so far for having some areas that don't have sidewalks or any kind of trail. So you gotta be really careful and stay to the side of the road and don't walk against traffic. It soon cut off to a safer and less busy side road as I got closer to the city of Suwa. And then there it was, site of the Onbashira Festival, a festival that's once every 6 years that I haven't missed in over 20 years. This is where part of the Onbashira Festival is, and I've been fortunate to come take part in it a few times when I was living here and even afterwards. But this is where the big feature, they pull the trees down or ride them down this hill, down to the bottom there. Looks strange not seeing tons of people on the other side of the river. Since me and this other couple's here, this guy's gonna do a kiari, which is kind of the little motivational yell before they start pulling. They have this sample tree here, kind of shows what it's like. And they go down the hill. Still surprised that the Nakasendo Trail came right through the Onbashira Festival site, I knew I was getting close to one of Suwa's most important shrines. There's Lake Suwa in the city of Suwa. So we just walked across Shimosuwa and we're just leaving Okaya now. We're about to get into the woods. So I stopped at a convenience store to get a drink and a banana and a ham and cheese croissant. Look at that. That's gonna be my lunch today. So I'm just gonna head across the street back onto the Nakasendo. Goes right up through this, right up the side street there. This is a nice view of Lake Suwa and Yatsukatake, the mountain range right there, which means 8 peaks. And on a really clear day, from a little bit further, closer by the lake, you can see Mount Fuji through the valley over there. But this is Okaya Interchange, and we're about to head just right over this little peak here. Last night I was able to catch up with an old friend here in Suwa. She treated me to a big steak dinner, so thanks, Gomi-san. Got plenty of energy today. If you see these signs around, it's just saying warning, danger. They have traps and cages set up for deer, boar, and other wildlife, so basically stay away from them, stay away from the cages and traps. This is Fujimi-dai Observatory, so looks like a nice place to have lunch. It's a beautiful view from up here. So you have Yatsukatake, the mountains, Lake Suwa. You can see the silhouette of Fuji just through the clouds there. And then there's a little bit of snow still on top of the Southern Alps. In Japanese they say Minami Alps. Since the previous day was a long, hard walk, I decided to take a relaxing lunch break. After lunch, I made a video on what I packed for this trip, so be sure to check it out on this YouTube channel. Hey guys, how's it going? So we're somewhere in Shiojiri City in Nagano Prefecture, and we've been walking for 9 days from Tokyo in that direction, and we have about 9 more days to go to Kyoto in that direction. So hope you've been enjoying it, because I have, and let me know in the comments what you think. And so let's go make some more memories. Here's a sign. Says that during the Edo period, this town prospered and it flourished with travelers at the time. And there's something across the street. Let's go check that out. So this says Nakasendo Shiojiri-juku Honjin Seki Honjin Ato. It's a place where a daimyo, like a feudal lord, would stay, or the site of where it used to be. So there's a little bit of information about the history. There it says Nakasendo Shiojiri-juku. But still no sidewalks to walk on, so be careful when you're walking on this part. Yeah, this looks like an old sake brewery. Wakyo Shuzo. This is called the Horiuchi House, and it's also a national cultural asset. Looks like it was rebuilt at some point. We left Shiojiri City this morning and we're almost through the town of Seiba, which is one of the post towns, but not much going on here. I've only seen 2 people, but from here on out we'll go ahead down into the Kiso Valley and to more of the historical post towns, which means it's more scenic, and which means there's going to be more tourists. So all the Japanese inns and hotels, which there aren't many to start with, those are pretty much full. So we're gonna find some places to camp on this leg of the trip. There's a 7-Eleven across the street here, and looking at the map, I don't see where there are any more convenience stores for a while, so I'm gonna get stocked up on a few things here, maybe even for dinner and tomorrow's breakfast too. So I got a bag of goodies, bread, different kind of things, chicken bar. Might be good to put in some soup. So just in case I get stuck, I got some stuff to eat. These small towns that we're heading to now, it's not that I worry about them not having a supermarket or anything. It's just that a lot of these towns, everything closes at 5. So if you don't reach it in time, there's not a convenience store or supermarket to buy anything after 5 o'clock. So it could be up until 8. I don't know. So, but we've got a few things just in case of emergency. Probably just cook my own dinner at a camp tonight. So just have to be prepared. That's what they taught me in the Boy Scouts. So here's a row of places. So it says here that this Kawaguchiya is Kobayashi-kei Jutaku. So most of these are probably inns that Nakasendo hikers or walkers, people going from Tokyo, traveling from Tokyo to Kyoto or Kyoto to Tokyo, would stop and stay at one of these kind of places. We've seen a few of these already. When it says Honjin Ato, Honjin Seki, it means this is the site of where the feudal lord would stay. So there's probably a nicer place over on this side. There's somebody's bee farm right there, right off the side of this main road. See all the bees flying around? So Kiso Valley is a World Heritage Site. It's a really pretty place, but the walkway stops here, so we're not going through the tunnel. We're going to head across the street over there. As I crossed the street, I met Koyama-san. He's an experienced hiker, and we kept each other company all the way to Narai-juku. Nice view from up here. レイニーシーズン Rainy season ちょっと大変。This is Niekawa Station. Only about 7 or 8 more K from Narai-juku, where I'm gonna camp for the night. But there's a vending machine here, so it's always good to grab a cold drink if you want one. I've got some water in my pack, but it's not cold, so I'm gonna get a drink for the road. But this guy I've been walking with, he's a nice fella. He's done a lot of walking around Japan, so it's been nice hearing about some of his other hikes. This is another what they call seikisho. It's like a checkpoint. During the Edo period, different feudal lords controlled different areas, and Tokyo basically controlled the area and had checkpoints like this where they'd check your documents. But it's like this. If you didn't have your documents in place, you couldn't get past this area. You couldn't go any further. Here's a small shrine, and these little places are along the way to get fresh water. There was another 7, and we're about 4K from Narai-juku, but I've got plenty of stuff in my bag, so we're okay. 本当だ。Narai-juku post. So this town is famous for lacquerware, shiki, and that's what this place is. They make like the bowls that you use for drinking miso soup and dishes like that. Lots of lacquerware shops. Urushi lacquerware. Nice town. The shops lining. You can see in here. Okay, we made it. Narai-juku post town. We're here. Just gotta walk into the town now. So just walking past the station here, Narai-juku, said bye to Koyama. We've been walking together for about 4 or 5 hours. Had a nice long chat about different things and some different adventures. But let's go walk to the sightseeing office. There are a lot of lacquerware shops here too. You can see they're all up and down the street. Some cafes and gift shops. It really is a quaint atmosphere in this town. I can see why people like coming here. It'd be nice just for a day trip, just to walk this street and maybe have lunch at a cafe. Look at this. After a relaxing stroll through town, I went to the river to find a place to set up for the night. I went to a guy here in Narai-juku that knows a little bit about tourism. I can't say who he is or where he works, but he told me if you get stuck in this town and need to camp, he said he didn't tell me, but this park is the place to do it. And it's right by the river. Toilets across the street. There's a couple of vending machines, and if it rains, there's this pavilion here, so helps a lot. So I got a place to sleep for tonight. To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna save myself the trouble of setting up my tent and taking it down tomorrow morning early, and just probably sleep on my sleeping bag in this pavilion here, which is where he said it was okay to sleep if it rains. Camping in the open, called no-juku in Japanese, is frowned upon here, so be sure to stay inconspicuous. So tonight's dinner, we're gonna have some broccoli and cheese soup, and I've got this chicken bar from 7-Eleven. I'm gonna cut that up, put it in the broccoli cheese soup. Have chikuwa and cheese, which is like a fish paste with cheese in the middle of it. Ham and cheese, bread. Save a couple of those for tomorrow morning. I couldn't resist an evening stroll through the town of Narai-juku before settling in for the night. Today we're going to head over Tory Pass. It's the last of the major mountain passes on this Nakasendo Trail, and we're just leaving Narai-juku, so let's go say a prayer here at the shrine just so we'll have a safe journey. Nakasendo. There's a sign right here. Let's see, 2.3k to Tory Pass. The guy I was walking with yesterday told me this is the part of the Nakasendo you might see a bear or two. So they have these bells along the way, but I'm gonna go ahead and take mine out of my backpack, click it on, it's a little bear bell, keep them away. Okay, got it. And sounds like a woodpecker. It's nice and peaceful, beautiful in here, but a little dark and secluded. So I don't think I'd want to run into an angry mama bear in here. Hey, we made it to the top. This is Tory Pass. Have a nice building with toilets. Look at that. This would have been a nice place to sleep last night. Nice and warm. No electricity, but that's fine. Oh, this would have been nice. Look at that. Nice clean floors and toilets right on the other side of the building. If you're new to Japan and you've never seen a Japanese style toilet or a squatty potty, this is what they look like. This is, you squat and you face the wall, and that's where you do your business. Most places have modern sit-down toilets now, but these mountain huts and even old schools have squatty potties like that. Yay, we made it. Tory Pass, 1197 meters. We made it. It's all downhill to Kyoto from here. That's probably the town of Yabuhara that we're heading down to now. Just stopped at a bakery, got a little bit of bread. This is a nice little town. Not quite as quaint as Narai-juku, but Yabuhara. Seems to be more of a functional town. They were having a sports day for like a preschool or elementary school back there. So actually people living and raising families in this town. This stretch from Yabuhara to Miyanokoshi to now we're going through Harano have been pretty quiet. Not really many people out. It's a Saturday. It's nice weather, but just not much going on. Still some snow on the crevices on that mountain. So this is the actual midpoint of Nakasendo. It's 266k from here to Tokyo and from here to Kyoto. It says it right there on the sign. Right there it says Nakasendo Chukanjiten. Here in the middle of nowhere. Gotta be careful with these really small turnoffs. You think you gotta go straight, but it's down this little. Ooh. I love to jump in that river. Looks like it feels so good. Look at that. This town is called Fukushima-juku, and it's more scenic than the past few towns that we just walked through, but it has this river running through the center of town. Houses are kind of built up on the mountain, and you got these brown wooden buildings lining the streets. There's also a Sekisho Museum, which is one of the checkpoints that we've seen already along the way. We just passed a brewery up the road there, a sake brewery. There's a tofu restaurant, tofu dishes, fried chicken, Kazusaya. I like these traditional buildings, all the wood. The sad thing is I just saw a sign back there that said there's a Elon shopping center just a couple of miles down the road, and those big shopping centers kill all these mom and pop and small town shops. Same way it did in America too, with like Walmart and big shopping centers. A scary looking tunnel. Ooh, that's dark. Wonder how far that goes. Ooh, it looks scary. I've seen too many Japanese horror movies to be walking in dark tunnels like that. So Michi no Ekis in Japan, they're roadside stations, roadside stands, and kind of like farmers markets, and they sell like souvenirs and fruits, veggies. This one has some food too, so let's stop here and see if they know if Agimat's town has a supermarket and what time it closes, because if not, we'll just buy some food here. Probably got another hour and a half of walking, and then we'll find a place to camp for tonight. Kiso Ondake-san ga mieru. So that's Mount Ontake over there with the snow on it. It's a nice view of the gorge here. The rice fields. This is pretty. Look at that big temple over there. So Agimatsu has a few supermarkets. They close at 6:30. It's 4 o'clock now, so it takes about an hour to get there from here for us to walk there. So it gives us a couple hours, and sun doesn't set till about 7:30, almost 8 now, since it's the end of May. So it gives us plenty of time to walk through town. Hopefully as we're leaving town, we can find a good little spot that's not too obvious to set up the tent and have some dinner and relax for a little bit before we go to bed. So a little bit of change of plans. Walked a little further, found a ramen shop, had that for dinner, and a local person told me about the sports park that's not in use in the evening times, and said I could probably just set up here. So I set up the tent right there, and this is what the view looks like. These mountains, just like that. So let's get a good night's sleep, start back walking again tomorrow. And another piece of advice is make sure you know where your flashlight or your headlight or lanterns, whatever you're going to be using for light, make sure you have those ready before it gets dark. Okay, good night. See you tomorrow. Harajuku. Popped in close to 7-Eleven and got a breakfast sandwich, some yogurt, and a coffee for breakfast. But sit behind here and eat it. Look at this view. This is the Kiso River. When I was a kid back in Alabama, I used to go with my brother John and some of our friends. We would always go walking away off into the woods, follow the train tracks down to different creeks, and this kind of reminds me of a lot of that. Look at that, you got the railroad tracks. We used to walk on these kind of tracks. Didn't really have a river as big as that, but we had small creeks that we'd go and catch snakes and turtles. It was always just a fun time exploring. Oh, look at that, it's beautiful. If you hike about 17k from here, there's a trail that goes to the Inagawa Gorge. Inagawa Ravine is what they call it, but look at this is beautiful. I just talked to a lady out watering her flowers, and this brand new building here is a city hall. See, it says right there, Okuamura Yakuba, which is the city office. But they built a new gym right there for the school. But she says, as far as high schools, they have to go to other towns because there's no high school in this village, which is kind of a problem across Japan with this shrinking population. It starts with preschools closing, and then next their elementary schools start closing, and junior high and high schools. So I think if they probably think if they build like a nice city hall, have some infrastructure, they're trying to bring people from Tokyo to these outer parts. But the problem is there's just no jobs. So in this day and age, with more and more remote work, maybe even digital nomads, which Japan just started a visa this year. It's a 6-month visa for digital nomads. If you have income already from digital work, you can get a visa to come to Japan and live here for 6 months. But that still doesn't help to grow things for the future. You can see these houses down here. Half of these are just closed up and no one's living there. So you may have heard of the Akiya Mondai, which is the problem with all these empty houses in Japan. It's because of the shrinking population. And I don't know, there's just really not much, there's such a huge elderly population and a smaller, younger generation to support it. It's scary to park a new car under that thing. Here's another Michineki. Let's take a stop here for a break. This is Okuwa Hirakusha. Stop in here and get a drink, maybe just a little bite to eat. We still got quite a few hours of walking today. My instincts were right. They had cinnamon rolls and another coffee. It's an early morning, so we'll have 2 breakfasts today. This part of the Nakasendo follows the JR train line, so a lot of foreigners and a lot of older Japanese people ride the train to the nice quaint towns and skip the so-called boring towns. But if you want to walk the full Nakasendo from Tokyo to Kyoto, or vice versa, you're gonna have to walk through the boring towns and between towns where there's nothing. But be prepared, there may not be places to eat or places to stay, so you might have to wing it. And be prepared, just have some food with you, and if possible, have a small tent. This is called Ibo Ishi, or mole rock. So if you have any moles that you want to go away, or you want to get better, you just touch this rock. That's what it says right here. There's a coffee shop right there. Let's stop in and have one. That was nice chatting with that couple. They moved from Yokohama to the small town to live a quieter life, and they reformed that place, which used to be a blacksmith's house, and which is interesting since my family has blacksmiths, my father and my brother. And so I asked them if there were any leftover things, and they showed me the iron piece that hangs over the hearth, which you find in old Japanese houses. And but traditionally Japanese blacksmiths made tools for woodworkers. On this side, right through the trees, you can see parts of the Kisa River that we saw this morning. It's really blue. Look at that. So I found a campground for tonight, but it's not located right on the Nakasendo. It's quite a ways, I don't know, 5-10 kilometers away. So what we're gonna do is finish walking to Tsumago town, and then from there there's like a city bus that takes us close to where the campground is. But the city bus leaves at 3 o'clock, one leaves at 5 o'clock. And let's see, we need to go down these stairs over here. Nakasendo. Make sure you don't miss these little stops. Many tourists were enjoying the fully restored Edo period town, but my main concern was looking for food and a place to stay for the night. Since there were no supermarkets or convenience stores nearby, the Tourist Information Center directed me to an oyaki or steamed bun shop. These are a specialty of Nagano Prefecture. Get stocked up on some snacks, dinner, maybe tomorrow's breakfast. The nearest place to camp for the night was up in the mountains outside of Tsumago-juku. So we're gonna take this bus for heading towards Hogami, and wherever we get off, it's about a 2K walk from there to the campsite. あ、すみません、お世話になりました。ありがとう。あ、見ましたか。はい。はい、わかりました。すみません、ありがとうございました。The friendly bus driver told me that it would be about an hour walk to get to Araragi campground. The good news is tomorrow morning it'll be downhill back to the bus stop. Konnichiwa, domo. If you didn't know, you'd be wondering if there's really a campground up here. It's uphill and starts getting into these woods. Hey, we made it. Come in here to check in. So we made it here and checked in, and it's only me and one couple here tonight. So the guy said I could choose wherever I wanted to pick, so I'm gonna stay close to where the shower is and the bathroom, and then there's also some sinks next door here. I set the tent up here, and just behind us we have a nice little creek running through. And the cool thing is there's electricity, so I have all my stuff charging. Tonight's dinner, Sapporo ramen, courtesy of the guy that is leaving now, that manages this place. And then the steamed buns, Nagano, they're kind of famous for putting different ingredients in them. It's called oyaki. And this one has eggplant in it. This one has nozawa, which is a type of leaf, kind of like spinach. This one has dried daikon. And this one has pork in it, but I'm going to save this for tomorrow morning. Good morning. It's about 6:30, and I knew it was going to start raining early this morning, so as soon as I heard the sprinkles, I brought the tent and sleeping bag to this pavilion and gonna start packing everything away. I left my backpack and all my other stuff up here last night, so go ahead and start packing things away and get ready to walk in the rain today. I spoke too soon yesterday. I said we were lucky because it's all downhill tomorrow morning, but it is downhill, but it's in the rain. I was gonna catch the 9:35 bus back into Tsumago, but after eating all those buns last night, the steamed buns, I'm not so hungry for breakfast, so decided to catch the 7:30 bus. We're up and out of here early so we can get started with our walk today. We're going to be walking through one of the prettiest parts of Japan, but it's going to be a rainy day. Well, that's nature, so we'll enjoy it either way. I walked back down to the bus stop to catch the bus into Tsumago-juku, which ended up being almost all students. So we're back here in Tsumago, and it's 7:40 in the morning, so nothing's really open. There's only one person out on the street. So we're gonna go ahead and start our hike to Magome. It's supposed to be one of the most scenic hikes, and let's go see what it is. It's about 10K or so, so it should take us probably 2 to 3 hours. So as we leave the town, follow the river, not cross this bridge, but walk past this bridge. And head just right across the street. There's a rock that says Nakasendo on it. Right there. And then we head into the woods. Make sure you take a right here at these people's house and take this little trail up into the woods. Just past a few houses, a couple more buildings right up here. Here's an inn called Hanaya Inn. Just keep following the signs. We're across, head up through there. So the road splits right here. And if you go to the left, up into the mountain, that follows the Nakasendo. If you go to the right, it goes past a couple of waterfalls, but they're both the same distance, and both end up in Magome-juku, Magome town. But I'm gonna stick to the Nakasendo since that's what we're walking. With the steep mountains around this area, the roads are probably really hard to maintain from erosion and all these little waterfalls after the snow melts in the spring. They're probably always having construction, probably cost a lot of money. You can see the sides of the mountains here. Trees start eroding and then they fall. Rocks falling, trees sliding down the hill. Like they have a cable holding it just to keep it off of this trail. And after coming down that hill, we're gonna follow these signs here, across this road, and follow the sidewalk. Only about 4 more K till we get to Magome. And we go back into the woods. Once you come out at this part, you're gonna cross this curve and head back into the woods again. These are actually 2 cypress trees that were planted in 1716, and they're growing together, over 300 years old. So, just leaving the tea house, talked with a few groups and talked with the guy that volunteers here. So, some nice people. Interesting tourists from lots of different places. So we're somewhere halfway between Magome and Tsumago, so not sure what kind of restaurants there are at either place. So let's have a little bit of lunch here. Some hot soba and gohe mochi, which is mochi balls with some sweet sauce on it. Itadakimasu. Just had a good lunch, warmed us up a little bit, the rain stopped, and it's downhill from here to Magome. And gonna stay at a hotel tonight, yay! Gonna soak in a bath for a while. One more little secret for you hikers is this part from Magome to Tsumago. I just asked the guy that was volunteering at the tea house back there, and I said, have you ever seen any bears yourself, or have any hikers that you've talked to seen any bears? And he's like, never. So these bells are probably just for effect, to give hikers a little bit of a thrill. I've been walking for 13 days now. Only wildlife I've seen is 2 deer, but I'm sure there are a few bears out there somewhere. $1.3K to get to Magome-juku. Nice bamboo forest there. At the 1K. I think a lot of foreigners like seeing these bamboo trees going through here. Started raining a little bit again, but we're here in Magome. We're gonna head down into Magome on that path right there. Cool. There are 13 mountain passes on this section of. We have this free museum about the Nakasendo, so that's good. You can also use them to trap bears too. Otojuku Nakasendo Hall. I'm gonna have to make another trip for sure. I spoke too soon. This is the actual mountain pass. Monkey skeleton. Okay. So the GPS signal stopped working and the trail just disappeared. Came to a dead end. The Shiga police picked me up off the highway. Crossing the Yasu River. Okay, today's day 18, the final day, and they gave me a certificate for doing the Nakasendo.